of NASCAR.
Stock number T, 2080, 1980, T1624, T2021 with approved credit after Ford factory rebate and Rave owner discount. The best conversations start on the front porch and end in the front seat of a brand new Ford. Hi, I'm Ray Varner at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. We keep it simple, honest, and local with vehicles you trust. This spring, take advantage of From America for America employee pricing. When you need power with efficiency, the 2025 Ford Maverick XL delivers starting at just $26,913. Deliver a trail and embrace the adventure in this 2025 Ford Bronco Sport Big Ben 4x4, 33,411. At Ray Varner Ford, family adventures begin with the 2024 Ford Expedition XLT, spacious, versatile, and just $61,800. And when it's time to load up the crew, the 25 Ford F-150 4x4 Super Crew STX is ready to roll at only $47,034. Plus, our Quick Lane Tire and Auto Center is open and ready to handle all your maintenance needs. This spring, make the move from the porch to the driver's seat with Ray Varner Ford. Local you trust with deals you can count on. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, I-75 exit 122, or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
WYSH, your NASCAR racing station, AM 1380, FM 101.1, and FM 99.5.
Classic Country, WYSH.
Under the third caution flag of the afternoon here for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at what has turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous day here at the Rockingham Speedway. 79 degrees, mostly sunny skies, just a couple of puffy clouds above us. And Alex Hayden, we talked about it earlier, a fantastic crowd here this afternoon on a Friday afternoon.
It's so great to see so many race fans back filling the grandstands at Rockingham Speedway. Again, tomorrow is a sellout in the grandstands. There are some standing room only tickets available according to what we were told by race officials. But yeah, here today we weren't really sure what to expect crowd-wise, but they have turned out in droves. And not just that, the camping all around Rockingham Speedway, Kyle. There are campers and tents, and it's a heck of a party going on here this weekend.
This is the first race of a three-race weekend here at the Rockingham Speedway. We are back tomorrow. The Motor Racing Network will have live coverage of the ARCA Menards East Series event, their second race of 2025 at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The NASCAR Xfinity Series also in action here tomorrow for the first time in 21 years. 3:30 Eastern, our live coverage. Pit road is open, and all of the lead lap trucks are heading that way. We'll begin with Chris Wilner.
Chandler Smith finished fourth in stage number 2, said I need to be about a number better on front turn, but don't make a big adjustment. 4 tires and Sunoco fuel, the call for him. Ty Majeski having a quiet but solid run, said it built tight, free in the rears. Give me just track bar, but I want track position. It's going to be a lightning quick pit stop for him. Gio Ruggiero still free, and Parker Kligerman took 2 tires last time for track position. He likes the handling of his truck, Steve Post.
Yeah, Grant Enfinger took 2 tires, and that truck went real loose. They're going to take 4 and tighten that race truck up. A little bit loose as well, the condition for Lane Riggs as Chandler Smith wins the race off from pit road. Also in is Corey Heim. He just needs better track position is what Corey Heim's looking for. Not going to get it with his pit stop as he goes out mid-pack. Jake Garcia, 4 tires, air pressure adjustment. Sunoco Race Fuels these pit stops, the end of stage number 2.
More shake up with different strategy calls on the pit lane. Chandler Smith gets off pit road first. Then you've got Rajah Caruth gained 11 spots. He's off the pit lane second. Parker Kligerman gained 6. He's off pit road third. Daniel Hemrick picking up 10 spots. He came off pit lane fourth. And Sammy Smith with right side Goodyear Eagles only with some Sunoco fuel gained 11 spots. And Sammy Smith is now fifth.
NASCAR history.
What I learned from Ken Squire, Barney Hall, and Ned Jarrett, I could never repay. Ken never told me what to say or what not to say. I learned very quickly that I was never going to be another Ken Squire. I don't think anybody could rise to that level.
Motor Racing Network's NASCAR Live presents podcasts 50 years of MRN. Jeff Gordon, A Colorful Career, the 1993 season, Junior's Journey, and more. Search for NASCAR Live on your favorite podcast platform.
NASCAR fans, get ready to feel the rush. The official NASCAR Tracks app is your ultimate race day companion. From managing your event tickets to navigating with wayfinding maps, event schedules, and facility info. It's got everything you need to make your experience unforgettable.
Ready, green flag, green
Bring
flag.
your headphones and dive into the action like never before with live scanner access.
Got a race to win, my man.
Listen in on driver and team communications at select NASCAR Tracks. Download NASCAR Tracks now on the Apple App Store or Google Play.
Had a wheel get loose from one of the pit stops down there, and the culprit was the Brandon Jones team. So they're going to have a penalty. They'll fall to the tail end of the longest line for the next restart. From Rockingham Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Hey, it's Brandon from Rusty Walls Hyundai. The Rusty Walls family of dealerships in the Knoxville area is happy to team up with WYSH AM/FM to bring you broadcasts of all the NASCAR action taking place this year. WYSH AM/FM here in Clinton has been broadcasting these races more than any other radio station in the state of Tennessee. So be sure to tune in throughout the year and catch all the NASCAR action with the Rusty Walls family of dealerships and WYSH AM/FM.
Are you a plumbing, HVAC, or mechanical contractor tired of wasting time and money on hiring unskilled employees? Local 102 can help. Our skilled workers are on demand and ready to tackle any job, big or small. Our state-of-the-art training facility ensures our members are up to date on the latest skills and technology, giving you the competitive edge. Partner with Local 102 and experience the difference skilled labor can make for your business. Call us today, 865-523-7413, 523-7413, and learn how we can help your business thrive. Local 102, your partner in success. WYSH, your NASCAR racing station, AM 1380, FM 101.1, and FM 99.5.
Classic Country, WYSH.
You're not getting the one to go just yet. So here's a look at who's getting it done out on the racetrack right now, presented by Craftsman. Your yard isn't overgrown. It's ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See craftsman.com for details.
Getting it done on the racetrack right now, I think Lane Riggs, winner of Stage 1, winner of Stage 2, will restart 10th here following this latest round of pit stops. Also getting it done, I like Rajah Caruth. First time we have really talked about him. Gained a bunch of positions on pit road a few laps ago. Will restart in second. Daniel Hemrick will restart in the 4th spot, race winner just a couple of weeks ago. And we really haven't mentioned much about Daniel here this afternoon, so it'll be interesting to see how these strategies play out. But they're getting it done. Nobody getting it done more so than Lane Riggs so far in the first half of this event, closing in on the halfway mark just a couple of laps from now.
When it comes to checkered flags for Lane Riggs, he likes to do things back-to-back, if you will. His first 2 career wins in the Craftsman Truck Series last year came back-to-back weeks. Here, his first ever stage win in the Truck Series was Stage 1. Well, he's gone back-to-back with the green and white checkered flags now, as his first 2 have gone back-to-back here at Rockingham.
Field gets the one-to-go signal. They'll double up now in their rows of 2 at the choose cone here on the front straightaway. Let's talk about Lane Riggs for a moment. Would like nothing more than to win this race here today. After winning 2 late last season, right after missing the playoffs. He's in playoff contention right now, top 10 in points, but would like to no doubt get a regular season win.
I agree 100%. And I think a lot of it's got to do with just simply learning how to race at this level. There's a lot that comes with it. Yes, the races are longer than a late model stock race, wherever you may run at your local short track. These aren't 50, 75, 100 lap races on a 3/8 mile short track. You've got to learn how to pace, and you've got to learn how to save tires throughout a full run. And Lane Riggs has done a masterful job of learning the craft of racing here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
We'll restart in the second half of the top 10 as the field is in turn number 4. Chandler Smith to the outside, Rajah Caruth to the bottom. Here they come with 101 laps to go here in the Black's Tire 200 at Rockingham Speedway for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Slow pace off of turn number 4. Now they're on the throttle as they go to turn 1 with Chandler Smith out front.
Everybody going through the gearbox through turn number 1. Rajah Caruth and Chandler Smith continue to remain seat to seat for the race lead.
They will drag race down the back straightaway. Chandler Smith has the advantage. They will stay side by side through 3 and 4 with Smith up top.
And Rajah Caruth digging hard in his red, white, and blue Chevrolet Silverado at the bottom of the racetrack. Still wheel to wheel for the top spot. Parker Kligerman has thoughts of 3 wide.
Parker Kligerman trying to get to the inside of Rajah Caruth. Now Rajah walks up the racetrack. Give the lead to Chandler Smith. Here's Kligerman for second.
Chandler Smith escapes the race lead. They go 2 by 2, and now a chance at 3 wide, but they tuck back in line side by side for second between Kligerman and Caruth.
Rajah Caruth in the outside lane builds that momentum and keeps the second spot. spot. They are 3 wide, just outside of the top 5. Corey Heim right to the bottom of the speedway with Lane Riggs in the middle.
It is on into turn number 1. One truck almost in the outside wall. That was Connor Mosak in the thick of this traffic.
And Chandler Smith up front. He is starting to wave goodbye to the rest of the field. The battle for second has steadied out. It's Caruth as they fan out all over the track farther back.
Yeah, Caruth is second, but he is under attack right now, courtesy of Daniel Hemrick. Hemrick will flash by and pick up that spot. Caruth will snap it back in line right in front of fourth place running Parker Kligerman. Chris Wilner, Parker, and that team doing some strategy calls today.
They really are, Alex, and it all comes from Chris Carrier atop the box. Parker Kligerman in the last couple of runs says, I just need clean air. Well, they did it. Stage 1, they put 2 right side tires on. In stage 2 at the end, they put 2 left side tires. So alternate tire strategy has led Parker Kligerman from 22nd to the front of the field in the top 5, and he likes the handling of his race truck. The question is, how far can he go? Because those right side tires are awfully worn, and they're going to have to make one more pit stop. But they told him to hang on. But Parker Kligerman, Connor Mosak, and several others on alternate tire strategies, and so far it's paying off.
A lot of trucks out there bouncing off each other as we keep an eye on Parker Kligerman. He is under fire from Caden Honeycutt for that 4th spot.
Here they go into turn number 2. Parker Kligerman, one truck length in front of Honeycutt.
He continues to hold on to that 4th spot, but up front, everybody is still chasing Chandler Smith. 3 wide behind him. It's a mess here in 3 and 4.
One truck further back, Dawson Sutton well off the pace. He had a bit of an issue up in turns 1 and 2 just a couple of laps ago. He's way up the track in turns 3 and 4. He was a bit of a chicane out there, Kyle, with everybody mid-pack, but kudos to everyone for avoiding that slower truck.
They were going to his outside. They were going to his inside. In a couple of moments, we thought there were going to be some trucks into the outside wall, but everybody is okay as Sutton is still slow off of turn number 2 and up the back straightaway as race leader Chandler Smith has been able to break away by nearly a full second over Daniel Hemrick, who has the 2nd spot. In 3rd is Rajah Caruth, racing hot and heavy from 4th on back, led by Parker Kligerman.
Yeah, Kligerman, 2 tire stop. That last pit stop under the gun now from Honeycutt. They will go wheel to wheel. Honeycutt a big pickup in 3 and 4.
Oh, that was a close moment for Caden Honeycutt. Lost the nose of his truck. He'll give up 3 positions. This knot of trucks goes back to 1.
Honeycutt sliding backwards as Parker Kligerman was able to take advantage. Now Kligerman under attack from Lane Riggs off 2.
Lane Riggs, good progress here on the restart. He looked high, he looked slow, now goes back in line behind Kligerman, and he goes wide in turn 3.
Dawson Sutton on the pit lane a moment ago. Let's get an update from his pit stall with Chris.
He had a flat right side tire. Not sure if it was the right rear or the right front. A little bit of contact there early. You guys mentioned how slow he was. They just changed right side tires only, put fuel in it. It was a call for
one truck hard on the outside wall. It's Ty Majeski. He backs his Ford F-150 hard into the wall in the corner. He was underneath of someone, got loose, and rear ends his F-150 into the outside wall.
He has shrunk the back end of that Ford up by a good 3 feet, right at the bottom of the racetrack. Snapped around on him, backs it into the safer barrier, puts us under the caution flag for the 4th time today.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Don't miss a moment of the NASCAR season.
Chastain drove it and never lifted. Put it against the safer barrier and all the way around the turn. Passes Denny Hamlin.
Check out the Motor Racing Network's coverage of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and the NASCAR Cup Series on hundreds of local radio stations around the country. Find your local station by going to MRN.com to catch the excitement of NASCAR on the Motor Racing Network, the voice of NASCAR.
With 90 laps to go, Chandler Smith is the race leader. We worked the caution flag for the 4th time, this time for a crash in turns 1 and 2 involving Ty Majeski. We'll follow up with him in a moment. From Rockingham Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Are you a plumbing, HVAC, or mechanical contractor tired of wasting time and money on hiring unskilled employees? Local 102 can help. Our skilled workers are on demand and ready to tackle any job, big or small. Our state-of-the-art training facility ensures our members are up to date on the latest skills and technology, giving you the competitive edge. Partner with Local 102 and experience the difference skilled labor can make for your business. Call us today, 865-523-7413, 523-7413, and learn how we can help your business thrive. Local 102, your partner in success. Don't be fooled by insurance companies telling you where you have to get your prescriptions filled. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy in Andersonville can fill your prescriptions, and they'll do it in about 10 minutes. And make sure you ask Anderson Crossing Pharmacy about their loyalty card. You can save 10% on over-the-counter items. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy is at 3318 Andersonville Highway. Call them at 865-494-8444, 494-8444. Family owned and serving our area since 1995. Anderson Crossing Pharmacy, caring for you and about you. WYSH, your NASCAR racing station. AM 1380, FM 101.1, and FM 99.5.
Classic Country, WYSH.
Of the infield here at Rockingham. Boy, Kyle, this is not the kind of race ThorSport had in mind when they came to Rockingham.
Majeski out of this event due to an incident. Matt Crafton has had all sorts of issues. He has been behind the wall. Ben Rhodes started this race so strong, but about 2.5 minutes in, or 5 or so laps in, the truck experienced some steering issues, some power steering issues, and he also went behind the wall. So it's been tough for ThorSport. Jake Garcia, currently the pole winner of this event, running in 7th, the best of the ThorSport trucks. And also on the racetrack, Luke Fenhouse running mid-pack right now for Luke, the only other ThorSport truck still running. Both of those trucks have had non-issues so far in this race as the red flag flies here at Rockingham.
Yeah, the red flag is out because there is some damage done to the safer barrier in between turns 1 and 2, and NASCAR and the AMR safety teams are going out there. Now, the safer barrier, if you're not familiar with that is, SAFER, Steel and Foam Energy Reduction. That's what that stands for. And there's steel that is on the driver's side. That's what they impact first. And then a block of styrofoam would be next to prevent them from going directly into the concrete wall. And Tim Catalfamo, from your vantage point, it looks like they're bringing even more trucks out there to look at the wall.
That is correct. So they have 2 AMR safety trucks that have now pulled into near the outside wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Now they have what looks like a repair truck that is also pulled up as well with ladders and other equipment on the back of it. A couple of safety officials working on the retaining wall. That was a very hard hit into the outside wall that Ty Majeski took. Now, granted, he backed into the wall, but he really hit it pretty good, and it was right at the apex of the corner, right where you're carrying a lot of speed. So there are now 3 safety officials, make it 4, that are trying to patch up what looks to be that steel part that you were just referencing a moment ago, Alex, that is the outside portion of the wall. They're trying to fix it and try to patch it up as best they can.
And those safer walls have no doubt saved a lot of injury and a lot of equipment over the years. And pretty big hit for Ty Majeski up there in turn number 1, but like you guys have documented, could have been a lot worse if it was concrete.
Dr. Dean Sicking and his team at the University of Nebraska, the ones who developed the safer barriers for motorsport, first installed at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Dr. Dean Sicking, just this past January, enshrined in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, getting the Landmark Award for outstanding contributions to NASCAR, and that was a no-brainer. When his name came up on the ballot for the Landmark Award for the NASCAR Hall of Fame, that was about of a slam dunk as you're going to get with that invention of the safer barrier to be able to save so many different drivers they have. But right at the moment, they just have to take some time now to repair the safer wall right there in the midpoint of turns 1 and 2. Now, there's still tons and tons of daylight. It's a beautiful evening here in the Sandhills region of North Carolina, but turns 1 and 2 right now fully ensconced in shade.
It is indeed, as the trucks sit on the back straightaway under caution for the 4th time in this event, under the red flag, and some safety workers on the back straightaway handing out some bottles of water to the drivers that remain idle on the back stretch. A lot of racing coming up here for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series on the NASCAR Racing Network on May 2nd. The series will return a couple of weeks' time at the Texas Motor Speedway. A busy month of May, 5 races in 5 weekends. May 10th, we'll have the Truck Series event at the Kansas Speedway. May 17th, part of NASCAR All-Star Weekend at the North Wilkesboro Speedway. May 23rd, Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then on May 30th to wrap up the month at the Nashville Super Speedway. So a lot of action coming up here for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series as they enter the second half of their regular season. A lot of drivers needing some good runs, currently outside of the all-important top 10 in the championship standings, including a driver like Matt Crafton, who's been behind the wall, has had all sorts of mechanical woes here today. Currently 15th in the championship standings, 46 points out of playoff position coming into today's race at Rockingham. So that's just one of the many storylines that we'll be following here as we get ever so closer to the playoffs in what is a shorter season for the trucks compared to the NASCAR Xfinity Series and the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah, it is. Of course, the NASCAR Cup Series is off this weekend, enjoying their only off weekend of the entire season as they get set for 28 consecutive weeks of racing, kicking off next week at the Talladega Super Speedway. We'll pack the microphones up here at Rockingham this weekend after tomorrow and head on over to Talladega, Alabama next week. We'll have everything covered starting next Saturday with pole qualifying. Then it'll be followed up by the General Tire 200 for the ARCA Menard Series. The NASCAR Xfinity Series next week will run the Ag Pro 300, and the main event, the Jack Links 500 at the Talladega Super Speedway next Sunday afternoon. But we've got a lot of racing still to go this weekend here at Rockingham.
Including the ARCA Menard Series. They're in action tomorrow, part of a doubleheader, a sold-out doubleheader here at Rockingham. 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, the ARCA cars will take to the racetrack. A couple of hours later, 3:30 Eastern, the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Carson Quapple, who has been so strong here as of late, been very consistent at the front of the field, and in practice earlier today was the fastest over Connor Zillage, Sheldon Creed, Jeb Burton, and Jesse Love, the top 5. Other storylines tomorrow, Casey Kane back in NASCAR. Looked good in practice earlier today, especially on longer runs, was one of the faster cars.
Yeah, he was the fastest in a 15 consecutive lap average, so it's great to have Casey Kane back with us here at Rockingham for tomorrow's race. But right now, we sit under the red flag as they continue work repairing the safer barrier in between turns 1 and 2 after Ty Majeski backed his Ford into the wall there. We were worried so much coming into the weekend, Nathan Prouty, about what this track was going to do. It was repaved back in the winter of 2022. First competition on it here this week. As a matter of fact, today, with all the practices and the race today, Nathan, but we were concerned about how many different lanes of racing we were going to have. Looks like it's widening it out perfectly.
Yeah, it absolutely has, Alex Hayden. And the drivers, too, in the garage, as we were walking through this morning, they were a little concerned with maybe the groove staying to the bottom of the racetrack and not really having the option to move up the track and off that white line. But we have seen some 3-wide racing at times here, especially on restarts. We've even seen 4-wide. I don't know if the drivers really like to see 4-wide, but we have seen the groove really expand over here in 3 and 4. And I think we're going to see much of the same today as this one concludes, and maybe even tomorrow for the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
A lot of that 3 and 4 wide racing has come in the laps following the restarts here this afternoon. It has gotten close, and then a couple of times we've seen some incidents up there in turns 3 and 4. The latest incident up in turns 1 and 2 involving Ty Majeski. Tim Catalfamo positioned over in turn 2. How's the cleanup work continuing over at that end of the racetrack? How is the repair of the wall going along?
Well, Kyle, from what I can tell, it looks like they're trying to weld the steel portion of that safer barrier back together. I can only assume that there is a crack in it, maybe a bigger crack or maybe a hole as a result of the impact when Ty Majeski's truck backed into the outside wall in the middle of turns 1 and 2. But there's a lot of sparks flying. There's a little bit of dust that's kicked up every now and then. And again, from my vantage point, it looks like they're trying to weld that wall back together. Again, there are 3 safety trucks that are there, 2 AMR safety trucks. One of them is a repair truck, and I count 7 different track workers trying to fix this wall and patch it up as quickly as they can. They want to make sure it's all patched up, though. Safety is the priority, but they're working as fast as they can to try to get it patched up and get back underway.
Gives us the opportunity to visit with Steve Post on the pit lane and find out what's going on some of the pit boxes. Steve?
Well, it's been a great start for Lane Riggs. I say that all the time. Lane Riggs, he's won the first 2 stages of this one, sits in the 5th spot. We've caught up with Dylan Capello as crew chief. Dylan, first off, how good is the truck? The numbers show it's good, but how good do you feel about your truck?
Yeah, I feel really good about it with how he can move around and kind of get to people's outside and really peak clean air, and it's really good. So excited to see what the race plays out here at the end, and we'll go get them and try and take a trophy home.
I think you gave us the answer. You said you can move around, so concerns coming from 5th?
No, I don't think so. I think with how we fired off right there, I think it was just going to be just fine. We got kind of bottled up there behind a couple guys and lost 1 or 2, but I think once it kind of evens out here and the tires start to show, I think it'll be all right. I think it will too. Wish you well. Thank you.
There we go. That's Dylan Capello. He is the crew chief for Lane Riggs. I don't mean to step on Tim Catafallo's thunder, but standing on the pit box here at the Front Row Motorsports, I've got a really good view of what they're doing there, and Tim described it accurately. There's a hole. It's about the 2nd or 3rd line up. Right now they're taking a mallet to it to just try to get everything into shape. So they're still working on it down here in turns 1 and 2, as we'll see if they can get it repaired. And after the mallet work is done, the crew is now starting to walk away. So maybe we're getting closer to some resolution with that safer barrier repair work down here between turns 1 and 2.
Just saw the welders out a moment ago as well. So it looks like the safety team beginning to head back to their safety vehicles and hopefully back to the infield. And we can put the caution flag back out here in just a couple of moments. But right now, trucks are stopped under the red flag with 89 laps to go. Chandler Smith is at the front of the field.
We're at the start-finish line.
William Byron on pole position. Green flag is out and we're racing.
We're in the turn.
Here to the inside comes Kyle Larson. He and Hamlin bump.
We're on pit road.
4 tires Sunoco Racing Fuel. The race off from pit road is Denny Hamlin. Eric Jones goes off second.
We are live from the track. The Motor Racing Network, your home for NASCAR racing. Don't miss a lap, pit stop, or side-by-side race for the win. Listen to all the play-by-play action on your local radio station and MRN or NASCAR.com.
Drivers, start your engines!
The NASCAR Xfinity Series races here.
Green flag is in the air, and they're playing bumper cars already as they race off in turn 1 by a fender. It's Cole Custer.
All the exciting play-by-play and lap-by-lap action.
Austin Hill to the bottom. He'll go to 2nd. Big block from top to bottom by Jeffy Lowe.
The voice of NASCAR, the Motor Racing Network.
Shane Van Gisbergen up the front stretch. The New Zealander wins at Portland International Raceway.
Trucks are rolling here at the Rockingham Speedway for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series under a brief red flag a moment ago for a wall repair up in turn number 1. That is complete. Caution is back out. We have 89 laps to go. Chandler Smith leads Daniel Hemrick, Rajah Caruth, Corey Heim, and Lane Riggs. From Rockingham Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Big news, East Tennessee. The former Showtime Ford is now Ray Varner Ford Used Cars, your trusted local source for quality pre-owned vehicles. We've got a great selection of inspected, reliable pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs, offering top-notch maintenance and repairs. Visit us today at Ray Varner Ford Used Cars in Wartburg. Local, trusted, and ready to serve you. For the best deals, it's Ray Varner Ford Used Cars in Wartburg. Or shop us online at RayVarnerFordUsedCars.com.
WYSH, your NASCAR racing station, AM 1380, FM 101.1, and FM 99.5.
Classic Country, WYSH.
And news updates you can trust. We are live and local. We are America's broadcasters, connecting you to what matters most. Text radio to 52886 and tell Congress to support your local radio stations.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to STOP.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
We welcome you back to Rockingham Speedway. Red flag has been lifted. We're back under the caution flag. A couple of trucks from the back of the field elected to come to pit lane just a moment ago. Parker Kligerman was one of those drivers. Also, Grant Enfinger came in. Sammy Smith came in as well, giving up some track position, but trying to set themselves up for the final run to the checkered flag, which will be in 87 more laps.
And we're just outside of what we believe is the fuel window of 70 to 75 or so laps. Currently 87 laps still to go in this event. Now some trucks off the lead lap making their way onto the pit lane, including Corey Day and Matt Crafton. Both have had, unfortunately, eventful days that have them mired deep in traffic. For the restart, which is about a lap and a half away, should get the one-to-go signal this time by with Chandler Smith looking for his second consecutive win. Let's go to the infield care center.
Ty Majeski's out of the care center. Ty, what happened? Pretty good contact there at the outside wall.
Yeah, I'm in the 9 just racing hard. You know, he was holding me tight, and yeah, I obviously should have lifted earlier and kind of yielded the spot to him. You know, we're all racing hard, you know, last stage. All that give and take kind of went away that we had in the beginning of the race, and yeah, I just got loose underneath him, obviously, and hit the wall. So track's narrow, you run out of room quick, and you know, you just held me a little bit tighter than I was anticipating.
Obviously, we haven't been here, but now that you're able to talk about the racing, were you surprised how much it widened out and how quickly it did?
I don't know that it's wide. I mean, obviously we're going up there, but that doesn't mean that it's necessarily wide, you know what I mean? So just disappointed. You know, we had a decent truck today. It was going to be, I think, a solid finish, top 10, maybe top 5 if things went our way, but really needed that finish to rebound. So need to go to Texas and have a good run.
Appreciate it. Ty Majeski out of the care center, a second straight DNF here at Rockingham.
Been a tough stretch for Ty Majeski, and as Kyle alluded to a moment ago, a tough stretch here today for Thor Sport Racing with Ty Majeski out of the race with the crash. Matt Crafton and Ben Rhodes having some kind of bugaboo mechanical issues down there. They've been behind the wall, but they're both trying to get back out there and get some laps. At least Crafton is. Ben Rhodes has been a tough day for Ben Rhodes.
All 3 of their championship-winning drivers have had issues here this afternoon. Jake Garcia leading the Thor Sport Brigade right now, currently in the 6th spot for the restart, which is about to happen with 85 laps to go. Chandler Smith, Daniel Hemrick to make up the front row. We go back under the green flag.
Chevy Ford battle at the front of the pack right now for the lead. Hemrick on the bottom, Chandler Smith on the outside. They exit 2.
They hit the back straightaway, and they continue to go side by side for the top spot. Hemrick with the advantage, being shoved into turn 3 by Corey Heim.
Corey Heim absolutely gave a rocket shot to the tailgate of Daniel Hemrick. Everybody kept them pointed in the same direction, still side by side for the lead.
As they race back into the corner, Daniel Hemrick continuing to pound away on the bottom of the racetrack, but Chandler Smith hanging tough on the outside.
Top 2 continue to wrestle for the top spot with Corey Heim lurking in the tire tracks. This time it's Chandler Smith who's got the advantage and the race lead.
Corey Heim, the only multi-race winner of the season, getting a little antsy there in third a moment ago. Now goes to the outside of Hemrick. Stewart Friesen into the outside wall, comes across in front of traffic and will collect a few other trucks, including Matt Mills, who goes to the outside wall, and Tanner Gray, who goes spinning down to the inside to put us under caution for the 5th time.
Just ran out of real estate, racing hard in the middle of the pack. Stewart Friesen hit the wall coming off turn 4 in qualifying, had to go to the back of the field. He's worked his way towards the front, racing hard with Tanner Gray and Matt Mills in turns 3 and 4, and those 3 trucks just simply ran out of room. And that Hallmar entry of Stewart Friesen is torn up. He's a good 40 yards past the start-finish line. Window net is dropped on his truck. Matt Mills, who's up against the outside wall, headed to turn number 1. A lot of fluid running down the racetrack from his truck. Looks like his day is going to be over. Tanner Gray, well, he's come to a rest as well in the infield grass just before turn number 1. So 3 trucks, Kyle. Really hard crash as Stewart Friesen's gotten out of his truck. He's none too happy. He's not even going to wait for the safety vehicles. He's walking across the grass under his own power, and he's headed to the pit lane.
Putting it back to the infield is Stewart Friesen. A lot of right rear damage to that truck, left front, where he made contact with other trucks, including the truck of Tanner Gray, which has come to a rest in the infield. It looked like he was going to try to pull away, might be stuck in the grass, and then Matt Mills up against the outside wall, the 3rd truck involved in the incident, going into turn number 1 for Mills. And again, they're going to slow the trucks on the back straightaway. And they are all but coming to a crawl and perhaps a stop as cleanup continues here on the front stretch. Stuart Friesen, the first truck to get into trouble, looked like he was racing to the inside of Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt was to the outside of Rajah Caruth. Friesen to just behind them. Oh, Caruth got loose, and Friesen had nowhere to go, got into the outside wall as we get a look at the replay up here topside. And Friesen just in the wrong spot at the wrong time after Caruth got loose in front of him. Friesen made contact, or another truck made contact with him in the form of Caden Honeycutt, sending him into the outside wall, talking about Stuart Friesen. So a couple of big impacts off of turn number 4 will put us under the second red flag of the afternoon, which flies from the starter stand as they have 3 torn up race trucks here.
Yeah, we mentioned Stuart Friesen got out of his truck, that battered truck just past start finish, and was a beeline walking fast across the track, across the infield grass, jumps the pit wall. He went to his own pit box, took his helmet off, and was having some strong language and some very animated gestures there with his own race team, perhaps not happy at all with the strategy being played out that got him put back deep in the field for them to be in this position. But Jimmy Villeneuve, his crew chief down there, was the one he was having a conversation with. But Stuart Friesen not at all happy, it didn't appear, as he made his way all the way to his pit box under his own power.
Comes into today's race 8th in the championship standings, still looking for that first win of the season. It will not come today. Chandler Smith is the race leader now with 82 laps to go under red flag for the second time this afternoon.
Hey, I hear you think podcasts are all about true crime, huh? Well, wise guy, the iHeartRadio app's got all kinds of podcasts. We got stuff you should know and stuff they don't want you to know. We got Bobby Bones, Big Boy, and Lou Later. We got SpongeBob Binge Pants and Exotic Erotic Story Time. We got Doughboys, Two Dudes in a Kitchen, Green Eggs and Dan. Hey, we got Elf Quest. We got podcasts for everything on the iHeartRadio app for free. If you don't download that, well, that's not just a true crime, my friend. That's criminal.
Relive the thrills of over 50 years of NASCAR racing with the Motor Racing Network's Classic Race.
36th Annual Southern 500. They come down to the start-finish line. Bill Elliott and David Pearson get down.
We dig into the MRN audio vault for unforgettable races and moments.
Dale Jarrett's got the lead. Earnhardt's not going to get him. Dale Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
Available on MRN.com and podcast platforms.
Alan Kowicki out of turn number 4, the new Winston Cup champion. He does it across the line.
MRN Classic Races.
Cleanup continues here on the front straightaway after the latest 3-truck incident that involved Stuart Friesen along with Matt Mills and Tanner Gray. Those trucks are heading back to the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series garage, and unfortunately, they are on the hook. We'll hear from some of the drivers involved here in just a moment as we are under the red. From Rockingham Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Anderson Farmers Co-op, 110 South Charles Severs Boulevard in Clinton, has something for the whole family. Names like Carhartt and Area. You can keep your feet warm and dry with dry shot boots for men and women. They also have Georgia and Ariat work boots. Anderson Farmers Co-op also has everything you need to take care of your animals. Whether you're a farmer or just have a house full of dogs and cats. Anderson Farmers Co-op, 110 South Charles Severs Boulevard in Clinton, 865-457-9641.
Toyota has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through April 30th, you can get any new Highlander or Grand Highlander with 6.75 APR financing up to 72 months, including hybrid models with $1,693 per thousand borrowed, subject to approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
WYSH, your NASCAR racing station, AM 1380, FM 101.1, and FM 99.5.
Classic Country, WYSH.
We go here at Rockingham Speedway. Red flag has been lifted. We are back under the caution flag as the trucks begin to roll in turn number 3. Chandler Smith will be the race leader when we go back under the green flag. Perhaps we'll see if any more pit stops happen between now and then, and we anticipate that there might be. Here comes Chandler Smith, peels off the banking in turn number 4, and will lead many of the lead lap trucks onto the pit lane. Smith, the first of them. Daniel Hemrick is among them as well. Jake Garcia, that is. Rajah Caruth, several lead lap trucks. In fact, most of them making their way down pit road. Steve Post is down there as well, and we'll have full coverage of these stops here with 81 laps to go.
They are about 5 or 6 laps short on the fuel, and most of the drivers are coming in right now, and they are going to get them chock full of Sunoco Racing fuel. I think some of them might take 2 tires, but right now it's just fuel only. There goes Daniel Hemrick out. He's going to be the first one off from pit road with Caden Honeycutt. So this is a fuel gamble right now. I noticed one that did not come in was Corey Heim. Scott Zippadelli, his number on the fuel was a little bit less than that 75 when I talked to him. So they feel like maybe that Toyota's drinking a little bit more fuel. So we've got a good old-fashioned Rockingham fuel battle here, and we'll see whether any of these teams can stretch it to the end. We heard 70 to 75, and you can maybe manage it and massage that throttle just a little bit and get a few extra laps, and that's what the crew chiefs are warning and beckoning their drivers to do now.
Well, Chief Starter Rich Keeter has the caution flag high above his head as the field will come by. We will not get the one to go. The drivers who are 1 or more laps down now will have the opportunity to come to pit lane. Gives us a chance to look at who's getting it done out on the racetrack right now. Presented by Craftsman. Your yard isn't overgrown. It's ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See craftsman.com for details.
Corey Heim's getting it done right now at the front of the field. That truck looks strong under the brief green flag run we had prior to this caution flag. Was coming to the front of the field and will lead the field back to the green flag, although he did not pit a couple laps ago. Gio Ruggiero looks good as well. Needs a good run. Currently outside of the top 10 in the championship standings, and that means he's also out of the top 10 of playoff contention. Wants a good run. Had started the season so strong in Daytona with the top 5 and trying to get back on track today. Looking good right now. In position number 2 is Gio Ruggiero.
So pit stops wrapping up with those drivers that are looking pretty good. There's been some drivers that have had their challenges here today. We mentioned Ben Rhodes out of the race after running 5th, having power steering problems. Matt Crafton, his teammate, is 41 laps down in 30th. He's still chugging along out there is Matt Crafton. He, too, has had some electrical issues today. He's a driver that's had some problems. And Tony Breidinger, well, I saw a lot of Tony Breidinger T-shirts out in the grandstands earlier today. She's had her struggles today. She is 2 laps down back in the 21st spot. Tony still trying to figure out how to maneuver these big, heavy NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series machines, and this is her first full-time season here, searching for her first top 20 finish of the season.
And only one top 15 finish in her career. That came a couple of years ago, and I believe her first ever series start at the Kansas Speedway, finishing 15th on that afternoon, has found some success in the ARCA Menard Series, moving up and into the NASCAR National Spotlight this season here in the Craftsman Truck. So right now, Tony Breidinger off the lead lap, running a couple laps down in position number 21. As the field is over in turn number 3, should be close to getting the one to go signal here to wrap up this 5th caution flag of the afternoon. We've been under caution 32 of the race's 121 laps thus far. 79 laps to go, and we'll get the one to go signal this time by.
Yep, Rich Keeter has given us the one to go at the start finish line. As he was listening to you, he knew if Kyle said we need to get the one to go, it's time to get this thing going again. Time for the drivers to choose what lane to restart in. First with the choice will be Corey Heim. He'll elect the outside lane. Gio Ruggiero, his Toyota teammate, will elect to go to the bottom side. So for the first time today, these 2 drivers have some clean air over the noses of their Tundras. And we're going to find out exactly what they can do with the clean air. But again, they did not pit here, so they're playing a bit of a different strategy card than everybody else.
Along with Grant Enfinger, who will restart to the inside of Road 2. And how about Tyler Ankrum battling back back up through the field. Remember, it was lap 2 of this race. That truck was in the outside wall over in turn number 3. Had some damage, but kept rolling, lost a bunch of spots, fell outside of the top 25. Haven't heard much from Tyler, but using a little bit of strategy, moves that up and into position number 4. Andres Perez de Laura moving in the 5th spot. First time he's been in the top 5 here this afternoon.
Tyler Ankrum on a pretty good hot streak right now. 4 top 5 finishes over the last 5 races, with a second-place run on the short track at the Martinsville Speedway just a few short weeks ago. Pace Truck now leads the field through turns 3 and 4. Will make its way to pit lane. Eric Johnson, the Craftsman Truck Series Pace Truck driver, he'll go to pit road as we look for the restart.
Green flag back up here off of turn 4. 77 laps to go, and Corey Heim will waste little time pulling away from the rest of the field.
Corey Heim able to clear Gio Ruggiero for the lead in the turn number 1. He'll lead by half a truck length off 2.
Corey Heim opens up his lead to a full truck length. Now they are 3 wide behind them, just outside the top 5. They sort it all out entering turn 3.
Yeah, they do. Daniel Hemrick was at the bottom of the track, slowed just a bit off turn number 2, gathered the truck back up. Everybody gets away unscathed back to 1.
Corey Heim leads Gio Ruggiero now by 2 truck lengths into turn 2. Tyler Ankrum 3rd, Grant Enfinger and Chandler Smith the top 5.
Corey Heim, he has had a great day here working through the field, and he has got the clean air on that red-white Toyota. Safe flight covers right back off turn 4.
And beginning to tiptoe away at the front of the field is Corey Heim. Last time by 0.3 of a second. This time by over Gio Ruggiero, about 0.4 back in 1.
Battle starting to shape up for the 4th spot. Grant Enfinger has got his hands full with Chandler Smith and Lane Riggs.
Yeah, and Lane Riggs all over the back bumper of Chandler Smith. Those 2 teammates have been beside each other all day. Lane Riggs on the outside of Smith now off turn 4.
Yeah, here they come back on the front straightaway, back to the line. 74 laps to go here in this one, with Corey Heim beginning to pull away.
Corey Heim leads Gio Ruggiero by 3 truck lengths, and it's another 5 back to pick up Tyler Ankrum. 5 more back to pick up Grant Enfinger.
And behind Grant Enfinger, side by side momentarily, were Lane Riggs and Chandler Smith, but Riggs slipped up, and to the bottom goes Jake Garcia.
Garcia 3 wide a moment ago to try to pick up that spot, and will move into the 6th position, but only for a moment in a side-by-side race with Garcia.
Garcia on the outside lane. Lane Riggs to his left shoulder into turn 2. Those 2 Fords still wheel to wheel.
They continue to drag race as they hit the back straightaway. Now it is the machine of Garcia who has the advantage. Riggs directly behind him in the tire track.
Stay single file up off of turn number 4. Good racing in the back half of the top 10 as we're down to 72 laps to go. Corey Heim leads Gio Ruggiero. Tyler Ankrum is running 3rd. Grant Enfinger 4th. Chandler Smith rounds out the top 5. Rest of the top 10, Kyle, we'll see Jake Garcia 6th. Lane Riggs is 7th. Andres Perez de Lara is 8th. Daniel Hemrick 9th. And Caden Honeycutt is 10th.
That's the way they run, all single file. No real challenge for position right now. The only difference at the front of the field is the gap between the top 2. Corey Heim at the point has opened it up to 0.6 of a second over Gio Ruggiero, and at the same time has pulled the same amount of distance away to Tyler Ankrum in 3rd as we check in at the Care Center.
Stuart Friesen, who brought up the most recent cautions out from the Care Center. Stuart, I saw frustrated when you walked back to pit road. You guys had a fast truck, but what put you out of the race? What happened?
Yeah, no, really, really fast truck. Big thanks to all my guys for that. I just saw Raja check up and get loose, and he just checked up like really hard. I couldn't get to the bottom to rotate underneath him. I was kind of committed to get up a 4, and we got collected in the middle and all wadded up. Just super frustrating. The last 2 weeks, our guys, the HFR team, brought really, really fast trucks and definite top 5 speed. So something I'm proud of, but maybe it's time to let somebody else, take these slicks because, I don't know. I'm just not sure it's worth it anymore.
Frustrating day, and it ends early here at Rockingham for Stuart Friesen.
I can understand the frustration from Stuart Friesen there. He said the HFR team, that's the Hallmark Friesen Racing team. Tough lick here today, and some very interesting words there, and I know a lot of that is frustration from Stuart Friesen himself. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. First, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Your classic country station, W266 AM, W25D6, FM 101.1, FM 99.5, AM.
NASCAR Racing Network is live at Rockingham Speedway. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series in a triumphant return here to the Rock, racing the Black's Tire 200. My name is Alex Hayden. Alongside is Kyle Rickey. Got Tim Catalfamo and Nathan Prouty out in the turn. Steve Post and Chris Wilner on the pit lane.
And we have 66 laps to go here at the Rockingham Speedway. Corey Heim is the race leader over Gio Ruggiero. Now 1 full second between the top two. Tyler Ankrum is third. Grant Enfinger fourth, Chandler Smith fifth. They are all separated by 5.3 seconds. The driver that won the opening stages, in fact, the first two stages of this race, Lane Riggs, currently in the sixth spot, 6 seconds back as we continue under the green flag.